I hope you're all enjoying your dinners. And please do feel free to continue eating as our program gets underway again right now. I do want to recognize our silver sponsors because I think I neglected to do that earlier when we were acknowledging all of the important sponsors here this evening who make this fabulous event possible. Our silver sponsors, FDMS, that's First Data Merchant Services, KPMG, Helen Razor, and Marina Park and Bob Sutton. So thank you so much, and I apologize for leaving off such an important group of people earlier. And forgive me while I fumble in my script here. I also want to recognize Diane Lemondola. She is president of the board of directors. Diane. Thank you, Diane. It's really my pleasure now to introduce you to Varsha Sathapan. She has served as a girl representative on the Girl Scouts of Northern California Board of Directors and plans leadership conferences for the girls. This year, she was a featured speaker at the United Nations 57th session on the Commission on the Status of Women, where she testified in the Girls' Tribunal on violence. And most recently, Varsha attended she earned Girl Scouts' highest honor, the Gold Award, with a global service project that raised funds to build a maternity ward at an Indian hospital. She also organized a pediatric medical clinic for children from surrounding villages. So a remarkable young woman. Please join me now in welcoming Varsha.
My name is Varsha. So nice to see you all. So my family is from a very small village in South India, so small that it doesn't even exist on Google Maps. So even though the yearly trip to Korekote is characterized by unreliable electricity and unbearable heat, I can't wait for it because it means that I get to see my childhood caretaker, Bhumayal. She is a little wrinkled woman, always cloaked in fluorescent-colored saris, and my earliest memories are of her bathing me in a bucket as a little girl and chasing away the beady-eyed lizards from my bed. Yet last year, as soon as I saw her, I immediately sensed her grief. My grandmother told me that Bhumayal's younger sister had died. During childbirth, she had bled to death on her hut's dirt floor, and in the process had lost her baby as well. I was saddened when I heard that the nearest medical facility was just a small outpatient clinic which lacked a ward where mothers could deliver babies and be cared for overnight. And when I visited the clinic later that week, I saw the doctor turn away one patient after the next because the treatment required was beyond the scope of the already overcrowded facility. And I instead envisioned a woman's ward where no woman in this village would be turned away. So I told my parents about my idea for my Gold Award project, and they were a little bit hesitant. I mean, think about it. It's a construction project in a village requiring thousands and thousands of dollars. They told me to be more realistic. So instead, I turned to my mentors in Girl Scouts. I talked to my troop leader, Mrs. Jana King, Marla Howard, and all the men and women on the board of directors. And here is where the message of Girl Scouts truly shows, because not one person told me that I couldn't do it. I mean, they even pushed me and encouraged me and told me to think bigger. And I was just so encouraged that they just gave me that incredible support system. But actually, the process of earning my Gold Award was much harder than I thought it would ever be. Just to get the land and construction permits passed in this village, I had to jump through a seemingly infinite number of hoops made of esoteric policies and local officials who did not take my audacious plan seriously. But actually, raising the nearly $20,000 to build a ward was not as difficult as sending the money to India, because the Indian government denied permission for the money's entrance because they suspected that the ward was a cover for funding terrorist activities. But Fortunately, once the FBI called the clinic's founder and verified that this was a legitimate project, the funds were accepted. My dream came true this summer when I traveled to Korekote for the ward's inauguration by the Chief Commissioner of Indian Scouts. And he told me he was astounded that a girl from the United States would take such an interest in doing such a large service project. And I was happy to tell him that back home, there were thousands of other girls just like me. You see, at Girl Scouts, from a young age, we strive to become women of impact. And Girl Scouts gives us those exact tools that we need to leave that lasting impact. Empathy, compassion, the courage to take on challenges, and a confidence that we can do this. Girl Scouts has also blessed me with more amazing opportunities than I could have ever imagined. Last March, I traveled with 9 other Girl Scouts from the United States to the the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women in New York City. And for 10 days, we were immersed in this intoxicating environment where thousands of people shared a passion for ending reform, shared a vision for ending violence against women, and seemed to even share a brain. We were thinking that similarly. I was shaken by the poignant testimonies from those who had endured this intolerable injustice. I had the opportunity to march with Secretary General Ban Ki-moon to broadcast the pervasiveness of gender-based violence. And though I was starstruck to meet him, Monique Coleman, and the Prince of Jordan, among others, I was humbled when I realized that we weren't here as celebrities or teenagers. We were all here for a common purpose, and that was to advocate to end violence against women. And I felt so privileged to add to this incredibly necessary conversation when I was asked to speak about how media fosters this very same abuse at the Girls' Tribunal. You know, ever since I was little, I have always wanted to be a doctor. My family jokes that it probably started when I was curled up in my mother's womb as she studied for her pediatric board exams. And while I am certain that I want to be a physician and that medicine is my calling, after 10 years as a Girl Scout, I know that just can't be enough. I want to be a different type of doctor, one who brings the transformative power of medicine to those who need it most. And through my experience with my Gold Award project and my trip to the UN with Girl Scouts, I have seen the terrible state of women's health in many areas around the world. And I know that women aren't dying because of some untreatable disease. They're dying just because societies haven't made the decision yet that their lives are worth saving. And I want to do my part to change that. And I know Girl Scouts has given me the tools to achieve this dream and any other dream I may have in the future. Thank you so much.